This week is Shabbos Hagadol. Sfasemis gives us a deeper insight into what the significance of the story that happened on Shabbos Hagadol is. Shabbos Hagadol was a time where Hashem told the Eden to get the sheep for Korban Pesach. Chazal tell us that the significance of getting the sheep for Korban Pesach was Mishchu Yedechem Avodah Zarah Ukchu Lechem Tzein Shel Mitzvah. Israel had to change their alliances. Until then, they were under pare. They were under pare physically with hard work. They were also under pare on a spiritual level. They were emotionally locked in Mitzrayim to the emotional control of pare, of Avodah Zarah of Mitzrayim. Shabbos before Yetzias Mitzrayim was a time that Klal Yisrael were given the opportunity to prepare themselves for Geula on a spiritual level, to decide in the deepest part of their souls and minds who they really belong to, who they want to be slaves to, who they want to be servants to. Because as we know, Yetzias Mitzrayim was going out of being slaves to Pare, Avodim Mayinu the Pare of Mitzrayim, and what happened? Hashem took us out. And He took us out to become His slaves. Hallelu Avdei Hashem. We thank Hashem for being His slaves. So obviously it doesn't make sense. Why are we thanking Hashem for going out of one slavery to a new slavery? And the slavery of Hashem is worse than Mitzrayim. At least in Mitzrayim they had downtime in the night. They had like a long day of work, but then they went home and they had a family, they had a bit of comforts, they could do their own thing. When you're a Jew, we have to do the whole time. It's all day in, day out, all day, every day, being a slave to Hashem. So how is that freedom? How is that redemption? But the truth is, we know who we are when we serve Hashem. When we serve Hashem, we're connecting to the deepest part of our self in this world, and we realize that our significance and our value in this world is because we are part of this bigger picture. We are part of Hashem's plan in this world, and that's our inherent value. And Geula is realizing that, realizing our value in this world, realizing that we're not just working for ourselves, we're not just working for our ego to have money and fun and success, because once we go down that road, Pare is better at that. Pare is the king of Klippa. Pare is the king of ego. Pare believed he was God, he was in charge of the river, he was in charge of the whole financial empire success of Egypt. Once we think that we are valuable outside of our mission for Hashem, then there's people way more valuable. There's going to be a hierarchy, there's going to be slavery, and Pare is going to be on top of us. The only way to get out of that is to truly realize that our true value is the fact that we're here to serve Hashem. And our whole life is a mission to perfect the world, to perfect the bigger picture of the world. And Shabbos is the time where we can appreciate that. And that's why the Shabbos before Yetzias Mitzrayim was the time Hashem told the Eden, I'm going to take you out this week. Be prepared. Be prepared for that. Be on the same wavelength, the same frequency as Geula. Geula is going to happen. The question is, are we going to be there? Are we prepared to forget all the Mitzrayim stuff, instead following Hashem into the desert and becoming His slave day in, day out? Because that's the ultimate freedom. So that's why every year Shabbos Hagadol there's a minute that the rabbi gives a drasha, and he tells us what we need to do. He tells us how to be a slave of Hashem. This year, Baruch Hashem, there's no rabbis to give us a drasha. We need to be our own rabbi. We need to tell ourselves our own drasha of what we need to do in order to be there when on Pesach by night, Geula comes into this world. We need to be ready for that. We need to already decide on the Shabbos before, where all the spiritual energy of the coming week is in Shabbos. That's the time to take ourselves out of our spiritual goals. And once we aim, Jordan Peterson says, if we aim onto the truth we believe in, the world will configure itself around us according to that aim. And he says he doesn't understand how that works. But we understand. Because once we focus and we take a Tzayin Shal Mitzvah, there's going to be the Goyim trying to kill us on the side, as that happened in Mitzrayim when they took the sheep. But Hashem's going to help us. Because if we decide to sign up to Hashem's servanthood and we tap into our true purpose, that's going to give us the strength and it's going to make us be there when Mashiach comes, when Geula comes. We should all have a Shabbos Hagadol, a great Shabbos, a Shabbos that brings Geula, a Shabbos in preparation for Geula. Let's make Shabbos great again. Shabbos Hagadol. Good Shabbos.